Can't get enough of Kelly and Ramya?
We're now on YouTube for you to indulge in highlights from our show.
I'm JJ Hunt, describer and lifelong backpacker. Join me for some armchair travel as we share description-rich stories from all around the globe.
JJ, you're taking us out of Scarborough and London and everywhere else we're tuning in from, and taking us on a mental journey to Tokyo. When was the last time you went to Tokyo?
Oh, it's been a while. I was in Tokyo, in and around Tokyo for about 3 weeks in my young backpacking days. So that was like, mid to late 90s. But it's one of those places that's perpetually on my list of places to return to. It's just a fascinating place, and one of those. It's unlike anywhere else in the world. Have you guys ever been to Tokyo? Ever been to Japan?
No. Always a bucket list, though.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It is. It's one of those places. It's really kind of hard to wrap your head around the scale difference. But I mean, I'm a Toronto boy, and I'm pretty used to big cities. But like the scale, the size of Tokyo is so unbelievable.
Right.
37 million people in a city that's physically about the size of 2 Torontos. That many people in one place necessitates just an extraordinary amount of very well thought out infrastructure. So the urban development that's required to house and employ and move all of those 37 million people around is truly shocking. I once heard Tokyo described as a giant mat or blanket of urbanism. And it is definitely that. When you're flying into the city, literally, as far as you can see in every direction from the airplane is city, just city, city, city. It's really
just going across town would be phenomenal. But we get that way, don't we, JJ? Because we keep thinking our cities in North America, well, they're the biggest and most active in the world, not even remotely close to truth.
No, not at all. Tokyo is just extraordinary. And there's the kind of this mental picture that we all have of Tokyo in our minds. And it's pretty accurate, right? Shinjuku would be the neighborhood to go to if you kind of want to be in that place that you picture as Tokyo in your mind. This is Shinjuku is a ward, kind of like a neighborhood of Tokyo. And there are, in this area, there are lots of glass and concrete skyscrapers, somewhere around 20, but it's actually the mid-rise to the high-rise buildings that line most of the streets that you and I would go to if we're there. These are mixed-use buildings, meaning that the bottom floor, like street level floors, they might have like retail space, maybe department stores, restaurants, arcades, gambling halls, things like that. And then above that, maybe a few floors of private offices, massage parlors, small stores. And then above that, hotel rooms. And then above that, a condo or an apartment building. And it's layered one on top of the other. And either in a mid-rise building or a high-rise building, you get off the elevator, you're in a mall on the 4th floor. You get off on the 20th floor, you're in a restaurant. On the 30th floor, you're in a hotel. It's really fascinating as a way to organize. It's like a vertical village. Each building is a vertical village. And then on the outside, that has ramifications for the visuals of the city, how the city looks, because all of those individual businesses have signs, right? Often these bright, glowing light box signs. Light box signs are basically thin rectangular boxes with painted plexiglass panels on the front and or the back, and they're lit from the inside in all kinds of colors, usually with Japanese text on them. And Japanese text looks like tight bundles of short, sharp lines, and they're presented in a variety of fonts or styles, just like signs anywhere. So these lightbox signs are not only posted above the doors or the windows on the first floor business, but they're also hung vertically, perpendicular to the building, so sticking out into the street with the front and back sides advertising up and down the sidewalk. And buildings end up plastered in these signs. So as someone who's just walking around, literally anywhere you're facing, you're going to be facing dozens upon dozens upon dozens of these overlapping signs. They completely dominate the views, especially at night when it's dark and these signs are brilliantly glowing and bright and flashing. That's kind of like, that's the mental image that I certainly have of Tokyo. And Shinjuku is the place where you can find it in real life.
That's like a crazy Vegas with signs like all over
It sounds
and lighting.
overwhelming.
I just
Yeah.
can't believe too the mixed living when you go from, it makes sense in a weird way. Hotels, let's stay here, and then upstairs living. Okay, food though, food also
Yes.
overwhelming.
Oh, I love food. Wherever I go, I love the food. And there's lots of great food to find in Japan, right? Sushi, of course, although I did learn that my sushi tastes are decidedly North American, like California style sushi.
Yeah.
Of course,
Lack of bravery.
ramen.
That
Yeah,
means
it
lack
takes-
of
it ta-
bravery.
Yeah, it takes a bit to like, I'm not sure what that is. I'm going to go for it. And I'm moderately adventurous in that way. So often I would go for something like ramen, right? Noodle soup with toppings like slices of pork belly and scallions and these really jammy marinated eggs. And they're
Oh.
beautifully arranged on top, like really artfully arranged. Or okonomiyaki, which I also like, which is a savory egg and cabbage pancake that you get to cook yourself, usually at a flat top griddle that's built right into your tabletop at a restaurant. So all that's really cool. That's great, gorgeous food. But what really fascinated me was convenience store food and vending machine food culture. Because there's a whole culture around vending machine food. Like my experience with eating at a convenience store was like those wrinkly, sad hot dogs that you find rolling on the like countertop cooker at a 7-Eleven. But in Tokyo, everyone's moving fast and there's so many people, you can't line up for food at all these restaurants all the time. So convenience stores, or konbini as they're called, have really stepped up their game to serve pretty decent food. And all kinds of people use these foods. Usually you find like a brightly lit refrigerated shelving unit along the side of the convenience store, and it's lined with boxed and ingeniously packaged snacks and meals. So like maybe you're going to get like a bento box there. This is like a TV dinner, or remember those airplane meal trays with all the individual sections? So there's you got your bento box with a section for rice, maybe a section for the meat, tofu or fish, and then your steamed veggies or pickled veggies. You can get sushi, you can get sandwiches, but these are like next level sandwiches, milky white bread with the crusts all cut off, and then noodles. So you can get pretty good like cup ramen, instant ramen, but you can also get like fresh udon or delicate soba noodles. These are fresh noodles served with dipping sauces. And then the onigiri. Onigiri are like stuffed rice balls that are often pressed into a triangle shape, wrapped in a sheet of nori seaweed paper. And just to understand how seriously the convenience store food is taken, the packaging for the onigiri has a special pull tab. And when you unwrap it in the proper way, it keeps the seaweed paper off of the rice while it's on the shelf.
Oh, nice.
And when you pull the tab, it releases an extra sheet of packaging inside so that the seaweed paper, the nori, won't get soggy touching the rice. I mean, brilliant, right? And then there's the vending machines.
So quickly.
Vending machines. Like okay, I read a statistic that was hard to wrap my head around. Again, 5.5 million vending machines in Japan. That's one vending machine for every 23 people. They're everywhere. And they're filled with all kinds of great food. Like you can get hot food or cold food, hot drinks or cold drinks. So, like, let's say you want to just live your life eating out of vending machines. Absolutely easy to do. You wake up in the morning, you go to the corner, and out of the corner vending machine, just around the corner from your apartment, you get a hot can of coffee. Delicious. And then, for lunch, maybe you go to the park, and from a vending machine, you get a bowl of noodle soup from a vending machine. And then for the afternoon snack while you're in the office, you go to the break room and there's the vending machine there. You can get a glass bottle of milk and a canned cake. And you can eat that back at your desk. And then for dinner, you're just walking around downtown. You can get a hamburger or a curry or sushi from a vending machine. And then, you've been out really late at night, so you got to go to the vending machine and, get some rum, some plum wine or some beer, maybe a can of caviar to drink and eat in the park. And then maybe if you've been out too long and you need a gift for your sweetheart because you've stayed out way too late eating at all these vending machines, you can grab a bouquet of flowers from a vending machine and bring them home to say, "I'm sorry, I've been out indulging too late."
Vending
Wow, that's
machining
the
all day.
business. That's the business to be in. Vending machines, servicing. Wow.
Seriously.
I was gonna say, my goodness, who manages all this? This is incredible. JJ, thank you so much. We've run out of time as usual. We gotta
my
pause here.
pleasure.
Ooh.
We'll see you guys later.
Thanks for watching.
You can catch Kelly and Ramya weekdays from 2 to 4 p.m. Eastern on AMI.